all the Mormons out here, well, it's not even the Mormons, but a lot of them are Mormons, about half. They just eat their shitty ice cream. They eat their Wonder Bread. They get their blinged out freaking sodas with extra syrups and all this other added bullshit that's just more sugar, and their brain fog just must hit them over the head like constantly. Like they're probably functioning at like 20% mental capacity because of their diet.
The sugars and the foods. That's what I've noticed with the organized religion, man. I feel like there's less opportunity to release, get that certain craving, those cravings that people have. And one of them is food. There's no real religion that is, maybe Seventh-day Adventists. There's an organized religion that's pretty food conscious. They all pretty much vegetarians,
Right.
but I bet you they still eat junk too. And there's a lot of built up desires, especially physical, sexual, anything that's really risky at all.
Yeah.
But when it comes to eating food, they can have donuts, coffee. They love their stimulants. They love their sugar. They love all these things that give them that pleasure. There's no drug, no alcohol. And of course, those things aren't ideal either. Definitely less ideal than the sex, but you can't get pregnant by drinking too much. You can get pregnant by drinking too much and then having sex with someone. But, well, you can do one without the other. But anyways, that's the interesting part for me. What I've already noticed, I've always noticed with organized religion is there's this desire to express yourself in some way. And most people, when they would turn to drugs or drinking or sex or gambling or other things that religions frown upon, it just all culminates into food, because food is the easiest gateway for them to get what they want and still be totally okay in their head and in their conscious.
Right.
And then there's the different halal and the kosher that has a little bit of a effect on the diets of different religions, but it's more of just cutting out certain foods. And it's like, oh, this cake's kosher or this or that, but it's still going to be the same problem. It's like the keto trend. Like, oh, this is keto, but it's also got a bunch of canola oil in it.
It gets pretty weird. I mean, I think the fasting with religions, which they even are supposed to do in the Mormon religion for, I think it's conference weekends. I think they do it 4 times a year, quarterly or some shit. And they're supposed to fast for that. You're supposed to fast, but there was M&Ms and shit being given out everywhere because they do some type of like bingo. It's like Mormon bingo. If they say this word, then you put, an M&M on it. Meanwhile, everyone's just fucking like chugging M&Ms from the bag.
Of course.
And that's just how it be.
When you're in your fasting zealot phase.
Yeah,
dude. Of like, no, bro, what M&M?
Well,
what are you doing?
I still would be like that. I mean, we owe a lot of our knowledge of fasting to religion to, promote it, but also the Ramadan season. A lot of fasting studies are based on Ramadan. And, you got to give them credit because a lot of people follow the fucking rules. Whereas maybe in Western culture, not so much.
There is a level of strictness that comes with the organized religion that does have an added benefit if you can overlay that into your personal life, exercise, and diet.
As long as there's no compensation, because that's kind of what you were talking about too.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happens.
So yeah, like it can come out in other ways, unfortunately.